What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to episode number 65 of the Figuring It Out Finance podcast, where I, your host, Chris Rickenbaugh, am documenting my journey in real estate and business while also talking a little bit about travel hacking and personal finance. Before we hop into the show, go ahead and follow me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and check out figuringoutfinance.com, where you can find all of the episodes and a little bit more about me. So let's hop into today's episode. So this is something that I'm going through right now. And I just figured I would talk about, my core people, as me and my partner are looking to ramp up the business a little bit, and we're starting to put those key people and see, all right, who fits in this business? Who else do we need? So to be able to grow, we have all of the pieces in place, and now it's kind of like, all right, well, we know those people. We have this one last piece of the puzzle that we need to put in, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what that is a little bit later. But your three key people that you need on your team, or a little bit about what's going on right now. We're still looking for the funding to be able to put down on this flip. It's going to be a really quick flip, so we're shopping it around right now to see if anybody wants to buy it from us. We'll make an easy $20,000 spread if we're able to sell it and just get it under contract with somebody that's interested in buying it, using the transactional funding to be able to push that date out a little bit farther than in a week. So I have a contract out right now to be able to close on a subject to opportunity. So I'll be definitely posting about that and breaking it down once that's officially closed and completed. Super excited to get that one done. It's out right now. All we have to do is go look at the house and sign the papers. So super exciting stuff. But today's episode is going to be about the three core people that you need on your real estate team to be able to grow. So hopping right in here, number one is going to be your realtor or your agent. So this person in general is going to be the one who, alongside you, is going to be looking for those opportunities to be able to flip, to buy, rentals, Airbnb, whatever. So they're going to be in the market. They're going to have MLS access. Maybe they're going to see something that you don't, but their eyes are going to be on the market 24/7. So they're going to be able to, send you different opportunities. So you got to make sure you get a good one that's does a little bit of investing as well, because then they're going to be a little bit more savvy on the negotiations, and they're going to be able to help you along the process. And if they're really good, just keep using them, because they're going to keep sending you opportunities to be able to invest. So number two is going to be your contractor. So this is going to be the person doing the work on your flips, whatever they are. So, that's something to where I have a general contractor who takes care of all the subcontractors for me. So my my current house that I currently live in, it needed some work when I moved in. So I knew that it wasn't going to be a massive project, but it was just going to be little things here, like bathroom, flooring, some little things like windows. So I didn't need a general contractor. So I did a lot of the finding the subcontractors, doing a little bit of the hiring and micromanaging over that little renovation. So I had, a little bit of a solid base to kind of understand what's going on, how much things cost. And then, for my first flip, I found a general contractor through my investor, and he just knocks it out of the park. So he takes care of everything. So we basically give him a card. We have it set up at Lowe's. He's got a Lowe's account, just an absolute rock star for the team. So he's able to take care of that entire project. He's able to send me questions. We communicate just about every day. on what's going on, what needs to be done, if there's something I need to do for him, or hey, this is what's going on, pictures of the property. So great communication, just being able to work together is the main thing for that business because, he's the one working on your project. So he's looking for different deals on how to get better prices for materials as well. So he's the one doing the hunting. That allows me to do something I'm a little bit better at because that would drive me absolutely nuts. I'm still working on it, but I don't have that patience right now to be able to go and look through, find all the little screws, buy all those little materials. I look for the opportunity. So I'm looking for that house and saying, okay, here's how much it's going to need to renovate. He gives me a general number. And then I work with the realtor or the agent selling the house, who's also my partner. Me and her communicate on, hey, what is this house going to need to hit top value and what are people wanting in houses right now that are going to sell a little bit better? So that's something that we're going to be doing different with this one is we're going to be staging. And she actually did it, my realtor, she actually did a flip and we're basically just mirroring that entire project. So she's like, hey, this is what you need. Here's what you're going to do. This is the color scheme. Here's the flooring. Here's the little light thing, little extra that you're going to put in here, and it's going to look great. And this is why it's going to sell. And it's going to sell faster than the other properties in the area because you're doing these little things. So I lean on her. She kind of tells me the overall scope. I communicate that. I buy some of those little things, put them in an Amazon cart or in a spreadsheet to be able to create that scope of work. After we figure out what all needs to be done to it, then we go to the general contractor. We walk it and say, hey, this is our plan for this. And then he can go and do the nitty gritty of, okay, how many nails and screws and boards and the framing and getting the subcontractors. So that's all, he does a ton of that work. So we do a little bit more upfront because then we kind of hand it off, track their receipts, communicate, is there something he needs? Is there something I need from him? And just communicate throughout the project. So having that realtor and the agent, along with the general contractor and myself, the investor, we all need to be communicating. So that helps get the project off the ground. Say, okay, this is a great opportunity for us to be able to invest in. Here's the spread. The contractor tells me what it's going to cost to be able to get it all done, materials and labor, and then we put it back on the market when it's completed. So, and that goes straight back to the realtor, and then we go looking for more opportunities in the market. So those two things are relatively simple, and I'm not going to go into using the hard money people, or actually I am about to talk about that a little bit. So before any of that happens, and this is the most key part of it, how are you going to buy that house? So you have the numbers written out. You know it's a good opportunity. You know how much it's going to cost to renovate the entire thing. How are you going to be able to buy that house? And that is where funding comes in. So funding's a big topic, so I'm going to break it down on how I'm doing it. So I am using a hard money lender that's able to fund about 80 to 90% of the purchase price, or they're able to fund 100% of the purchase price and 100% of the renovations, and they come back to me with a cash to close number that normally comes out between 15 to 20% down. So that on the term sheet that they send me after underwriting the deal, they send a cash to close number. Hey, this is how much you're going to have to pay us. And then we got the purchase price and the renovation. So it's not like a solid 20% or 15%. It's just this cash to close number. And once we get that, then, all right, how do we find that cash to close number? Because I don't have $60,000 sitting in my pocket, which is what we need to be able to close on this house. It's actually just a little under $53,000, But from doing these first two flips, I've started to understand, okay, I need to ask for a little bit more when I'm raising the money because of all those little things. Like, I'm not thinking about the garbage that needs thrown out, all the boxes, all the extra debris. So that is going to be, I'm struggling on the word here for some reason, but it's the dumpster. So I'm not sure why I was struggling on that so bad, but the dumpster, that costs almost $500 to $600 if you're having it out there for an entire month of the total of the project. So, and then once that gets full, or if it gets too heavy, you have to clean it off. You have to order another one. That's $1,200. And then there's insurance tagged onto it. And then there's the holding cost. So are you going to be holding this thing for a month while the renovation happens? And then what if it doesn't sell right away and you have to hang on to it for 3 months? So that is all included in there. So that's why I'm learning to ask for a little bit more than I need up front. So learning a little bit more, I'm able to find that. So that's where we're struggling on this project, is to find the funding. Now, there's different people. Private money is going to be the easiest. So that's how I funded my first two flips. The one that's the first one that I flipped, and then the current one I have going, I found somebody who was able to loan me $35,000 with 20% interest. And after the first flip, we were going to pay him, and instead we just rolled it straight into the second one with a little bit more interest tagged onto it. So that person's going to make $20,000 without having to do anything this year as soon as we sell that house. That's a great deal. So you have to find a private money person who's willing to lend you money, whether that's a rich uncle, whatever, whoever, or we're having to get a little bit creative on gap lending. So that is where we're looking. So you need your realtor and contractor to be able to understand if this is a good opportunity for you to buy, but you also need to have the funding lined up to be able to buy it. So hard money is just one piece of that puzzle, to where, it takes the chunk. So you're not going to be paying $300,000 out of pocket to be able to purchase the house and renovate it. You're going to be needing some cash to close at the end, whether that's probably going to be between $25,000 to $60,000 in my market. So right now we're shopping around different lenders to be able to see if we're able to get a better interest rate, less cash to close. So on this specific opportunity, it's going to be about $53,000 to close. I'm asking to raise $60,000, but we actually found another hard money company. They don't close as quick, so they can't close in 3 days. It's 14 to 21, so it won't work for this one. But we would put down a substantially less amount of money. So they came out to only putting down $27,000 compared to almost $53,000. So on our next one, we're definitely going to be looking at them, and with the experience, I'll be able to qualify for what they're requesting and be able to put down the 5 to 10% down that they're looking for. So have your realtor and agent, find your contractor, and then you need to make sure you have the funding. So that's all I got for today. That's what kind of going on in my world right now, is looking for that funding, getting really creative, talking to a lot of people, and it's a good time for sure. So I'll be back on Monday with an update on flip number 2, and hopefully a signed contract and a buy on a subject to opportunity. So I'll be back on Monday with that. So this is Chris Rickenboss signing off for the Figuring It Out Finance podcast. We'll see you on the next one.